Hey book lovers, welcome to my Summerween vlog. We're going to go through the things that I did during my weekend and all the books that I read. But first, we have to start with a big cup of coffee in our cauldron mug. Then we did a little bit of shopping where we just, of course, wanted to buy all the cute things, but we had self-control and did not leave with anything. Yay, yes. That I picked up an author that I had never read before, Taylor Adams, and I read Her Last Breath by him. And let me tell you, if you're looking for a thriller that is not your typical thriller and it's not fully based on a crime or psychological warfare, but actually mixes a ton of these themes into one thriller, but add in survival in a deep cave, and you don't have all the things that you need to survive this setting, pick up Her Last Breath. I read it, and I feel like as I was reading it, I really read it slowly because it took me a minute to really try to mentally place myself in the journey these two young women were going through and what fear it must be. I'm claustrophobic, so reading about two women in a cave where it's super dark and you can only see a little bit ahead of you with a flashlight even, and not knowing what's next to you or what's going to come up ahead, that just really freaks me out. So it really hit that thriller vibe for me. I give it 4 stars out of 5 just because I did feel that the ending was quite predictable. But I feel like this particular book wasn't so much revolving around the end result of the story, but more so how the beginning of the story was and the journey to get to the ending and just unraveling all the knots and all the conflicts that were in there. So it's Allie and it's Tess, and Allie takes Tess on a caving adventure, and Tess has never really come out of her comfort zone to do such things. So it's really cool to see kind of their friendship dynamic and how different it is. But as they're going on this adventure, they bump into a stranger who's just giving them really bad vibes from the beginning, but they still want to pursue their adventure and go down into the cave and do all the things. So they're going to have to navigate dealing with the stranger, they're going to have to navigate the caves, and they're going to have to navigate their dynamic together. So if you're looking for a thriller that's completely different than your typical thriller, pick up Her Last Breath. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a quick read, and this author has multiple other books. I think I'm going to pick up No Exit next because that one also seems really interesting. So pick this up, or let me know if you've read any of his other books. Yeah, don't laugh at me, but am I the only one that hypes himself up and does a little dance before filming? If you do, let me know if you do or not, because I can't be the only one, right? And I don't remember what song I was jamming out to in my head. These are the Goosebumps books that I read for my Summerween or my Halloween in July. First, we have Ghost Beach, and I did find it was pretty creepy, but not creepy enough for me or what I was looking for this summer. So Ghost Beach, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars on my creepy meter and 3 out of 5 stars overall. But it was still a good book. It just wasn't really the vibes that I wanted. I wanted a little bit more creepiness. The second book that I read was The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Now this one gave me all the creepy vibes. Like, I was just looking over my shoulder and I was really feeling creeped out. I love the little twist at the end, of course. You know, it's one that you can put the pieces together and you kind of knew it was coming. But this one was such a fun, creepy read, so I highly recommend this one. Then I read Welcome to Dead House. Welcome to Dead House was the creepiest of the Goosebumps books that I read. And I just feel like it gave me all the goosebumps, literally all the goosebumps, and it just made me look over my shoulder. I struggled to read this one at night or before bed because I'm a wimp like that and things just scare me easily. But this one was a 4 out of 5 stars overall, and or sorry, the creepy meter was 4 to 5 stars, but overall it was a 5-star read. So this one is definitely one of my top Goosebumps books. And then Say Cheese and Die. I read this one when I was younger. It was my favorite Goosebumps book, but I think it might have been dethroned by Welcome to Dead House, but I still really enjoy this one. I feel like it's one of the top 3 Goosebumps books out there. The twist is nice. You get all the creepy vibes. You get, just creeped out by this camera that shows, you how you're going to die, or how your friends or whoever's picture that you take. So this one was really good. And then, of course, it was so good that they have to make a second one, which is Say Cheese and Die Again. And this one wasn't as good as the first one, but I do feel like it was pretty good. So if you want to pick up a few Goosebumps books, those are the Goosebumps books that I would recommend. There was one that I did not get to, but I still want to read it. I was just kind of goosebumped out. I could only take so much creepiness for the week, but The Curse of Camp Cold Lake. It looks super creepy. Look, it has like that zombie. So definitely going to pick it up, but I'm just kind of not in the mood to continue any more Goosebumps books right now. So let me know if you've read this one. I would love to know what your take is on it. So those were the Goosebumps books that I read. Hey guys, Summerween is coming to an end, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop reading thrillers. I've just been hooked, and I've just been enjoying them so much that I want to continue my journey of reading more thrillers. As a younger reader, I used to love picking up a good thriller, and I feel like I've kind of lost touch with that side of myself, but I'm happy to be back and loving it. So I picked up these 2 books when I was at the bookstore, 2 by Riley Sager. One is The House Across the Lake, and the other one is Home Before Dark. Now these will be my first Riley Sager books. I've done a little research for my Summerween reading TBR, and I saw that he is a fantastic thriller author, so I'm really excited to jump into these. Let's see, the back of Home Before Dark says, 25 years ago, Maggie Holt and her parents moved into a rambling Victorian estate called Bainbury Hall. They spent 3 weeks there before fleeing in the dead of night, an ordeal her father recounted in a spooky memoir that became a worldwide phenomenon. She may have been too young to really remember what happened, but Maggie doesn't believe a word of her father's book. Ghosts, after all, don't exist. But now Maggie is back at Bainbury Hall and is beginning to believe that there might have been some truth in the fiction. That either way, someone or something doesn't want her here, and that she might be in danger all over again. Ooh, it's creepy. It's kind of giving Amityville horror vibes, which is super creepy and super scary. All right, The House Across the Lake. It says, Casey Fletcher has escaped to her family's lake house for peace and quiet to mourn her late husband. When the glamorous couple across the lake catch her attention, she's mesmerized. They're perfect, just like Casey and her husband used to be. But is anyone what they seem? Is Casey as perfect as she thinks? She has a detective sat at her kitchen table, and she has a man bound and gagged upstairs. She's about to uncover a dark truth, so life-changing that nothing will ever be the same again. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I love a good nothing is what it seems thriller, because I feel as people, we all have layers and you never really truly know somebody. So I love a good psychological thriller where it really makes you think, it really makes you go deep into, do we really know the people around us? Oh, I can't wait to get into these. So we'll keep you guys updated. So Summerween's coming to an end for me, but that does not mean that I'm going to stop reading thrillers. So stay so tuned. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. It's another day of Summerween with Yahaira'sCozyChapters. My name is Yahaira. I want to talk about thrillers that would be great for people that are trying to dip their toes into the thriller genre, or that have read thrillers in the past but want something fast-paced and short that they can read in a weekend or in one night. First, let's start with The Housemaid. The Housemaid is a great thriller, beginner thriller, because it's gripping from the very beginning. It's fast-paced and the twists are twisting, but they're not overly complicated. And it's about 300 and something pages, so it's pretty quick. And it was also made into a movie, so you know it's bound to be good. And there's also The Housemaid's Secret, if you choose to continue on with the series. And then there's The Housemaid is Watching. So these would be perfect for people that are trying to get into thrillers but don't really know where to start. And of course, it's Frida McFadden. We've heard all the great things about her books. Another one would be The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Now, this book has a lot of bad reviews, but also a lot of good reviews. It really depends on the person if this is a book that's going to be for you or not. I actually enjoyed The Perfect Marriage. I didn't love it, but I thought it was a well-paced book, and I love the twist, and I love a little bit of a domestic thriller and relationship drama. So for me, it was a fun ride. Definitely pick those up if you haven't, and if you have, let me know which ones you liked best. I just recently discovered some new thriller authors that I'm excited to read. Taylor Adams, and I believe Riley Sager is an author that I just got introduced to, and I read my first Alice Feeney book, which was My Husband's Wife, which was fantastic, but it definitely had a lot of twists and turns, and I would not recommend that as a beginner thriller reader. So let me know what thrillers you have read and what thrillers you're wanting to read. This is Yahaira's's Cozy Chapters, and this is our Summerween edition. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so we can keep continuing on with these cozy chats. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.